Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PODCASTUMANIA, episode 2. Today we'll be talking about how serious depression is. Depression is a serious problem, and some people might be like, come on, it should be fine. It's just a phase, I'll grow out of it. Did you grow out of it, bitch? Did you? Huh? I doubt that. Depression can be really serious. If you don't take it seriously, it might lead up to more advanced forms, slowly leading to suicide. Heck, I even lost a relative due to that. That relative was like my grandpa's nephew. Yeah, my grandpa's nephew. And outside, he was like really fine, really outgoing. He seemed to be chill. Oh, but he sometimes said that his mother was calling for him. Apparently, he died when he was 15. He had a stepmom, by the way. She's alive and well. And there's that he had when he went to a psychiatrist. He's got medicine prescription medication. And one day, apparently, he went out to a balcony in his room. It was like at the top floor. Or what do you expect? It's the top floor. And after a few hours, his neighbors came up to their door and said, your son's fell off the balcony. And when they check the scene, it's like his slippers were in the, or his cigarette was there. They thought that he jumped, but there was this thing that was going around saying that he just fell off, but I really hope it's the case. Suicide is a serious problem. At some point, it starts with something really tragic, a tragedy like a loss, trauma. Trauma's the worst one. Harassment, or even worse, sexual harassment and rape. I really hope there's no one at all out there. I really hope that there's little to no victims of that. I really hope so. And when you try to do such things, if you don't take, after a point, it turns to depression. And then from there, it turns into homicidal or even worse, suicidal tendencies. And if they're doing self-harm, if you they have symptoms of substance abuse, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, any kind of after a point, it becomes worse. It's worse. Depression gets more advanced by time, and then all it takes is one big rock. Okay. Think that you're wearing a backpack. Every problem you have that causes depression puts a rock into that backpack. After a point, backpack becomes so heavy you can't carry it anymore. You're like, suicide's the only option. You think that and then commit suicide unless if someone stops you. Look, if anything feels heavy, look, you're not alone. Even though if you think that you are not alone. Oh. Look, there are a lot of suicide prevention hotlines. You can talk to your parents, your friends, your siblings, your friends, or psychological, or guidance teacher, an adult you trust. National suicide helplines. There are a lot of good helplines out there. And every day, people usually fight a specific war. And you usually win every single day, but all it takes is just one defeat. I got that defeat many times. Let me tell you, it's not easy at all. Maybe I shouldn't have covered such a sensitive topic. Okay, and there was also a friend of mine that was depressed because he had trauma. He was sexually harassed, abused, and he was later diagnosed with ADHD, which made it even worse. After that, after he came out, he became with like really obvious scars. He literally had his nose broken, and it was bleeding. His both lips were popped. I'm not sure, but there were rumors that he broke a bone or two. His jaw was like this. His jaw was kind of also like this. Or this. I can't really remember. And one of his eyes were actually bloodshot. Heck, even maybe bleeded. I can't really remember much, but it probably bleeded. And apparently, his parents didn't like that, so they just beat the shit out of him. And apparently, he had brain trauma. He was in coma for a month. He lived in his grandparents for the rest of his life. I'm pretty glad that he's fine. He was fine after a month or two. After that, he just attacked the security guard, took his gun, and it was a taser. Thank God. But after hearing that, realizing that it wouldn't work, he just threw the gun at the security and went to the top floor or open the windows, but couldn't, so he just straight up shattered it. They didn't even clean the bottom to step off properly. Then he just jumped off. And there were elementary kids, even kindergarten kids at that courtyard. That was really traumatizing for the most. After that, a lot of people in the school were really upset. There was this depression wave across the whole school. Not only students were affected from it, but the teachers were even affected. Yeah. And after that, that was a memory I couldn't forget for a long time. I still can't. And bullying affects it as well. It affects it a lot. Trust me. At like 5th grade, the first semester of 6th grade, I changed schools at 2nd grade. At 5th grade, there was this group of a-holes in the classroom. You know, the 10-year-olds are like 15 in mind, or 10 or 5. There were a bunch of 7 years old in this situation, in the mind. And my mom always said I was like a 14-year-old in the mind. I don't know why. And they bullied me a lot. They even blamed me for the worst things. Last one was writing "I am a psychopath" on my desk. It was literally like I said it. I would rage for 10 minutes, which made it probably worse. And there was always there. And back in the day, I kind of had like Asperger, which is pretty much autism, but it's not that bad. Like autism, but with average IQ. Well, in autism, it's usually high. Yeah. I never figured out my IQ, but what I do know, it's probably average. And I acted pretty weird, like talking to myself, making noises like etc. Like, but I was making noises of attacking them, doing unspeakable things to them. And if I spoke about it right now, this stream wouldn't be demonetized. I would be banned from internet. That's how fucked up it is. After that, I tried to commit suicide, but I couldn't really dare myself. I attempted it twice, but I decided to throw myself like down the window. But let's be honest, two-story apartments can't do shit when it comes to such things. Then I tried in my parents' house. This is my parents' house, by the way. I tried it like that, but I didn't have the guts to do it. Because the second I stepped on the platform above the balcony, they would figure out that I tried to do such a thing. It's on top of there. And they wouldn't let me do such a thing. I was just scared to do it in front of them, you know? I didn't really want to put them in front of this torture. And after a point, I was like at the class. I was turning around like this, fixing my sock. Then there's this girl sitting next to me, and there's a distance between us like a fucking meter. Like, even maybe like 3 feet and 3 inches, which is like a meter. That was like a meter distance. And one of the girls said, "He's right, man. Hey, pull my pants off. You tried to pull my pants off. She said that. I was flabbergasted. It became so bad that even they wouldn't want it, probably. I had to change schools. I really hope that she didn't mean to do. They didn't expect such a thing. Because if they wanted such a thing, they can go fuck themselves. And at 8th grade, it became worse. People were like, and in Turkey, at 8th grade, end of 8th grade, you attend this exam called LGS, which is really crucial if you want a proper high school education and a good one. And my parents obviously didn't want such a thing. Everyone was like pressuring me to study more and more and more. They didn't stop at all. I took like classes from like extra. They had like 4 extra teachers tutor me for 4 classes: Turkish, math, science, revolution history, and Kemalism, which is a class that you only get in 8th grade. It wasn't easy. My depression became worse. I was like, wanted to stay in my room all alone. Wanted to do something that I would prefer, that I would enjoy. But the second I tried to sit down, Mom's like, barges in the room. It's like, you started studying? Bitch! It's semester. It's school break. She's like, no break for you guys. There's a Zoom class. I wish I was making all this up. I really wish I was. And at 10th grade, after high school, it didn't do much. Classes became worse. For example, there was like in middle school there was like 6 classes you'd have to pass, but in high school it's like 11. We're only humans after all, bitch. We're only fucking humans. What the fuck do we look like to you guys? Einstein? Heck, even he couldn't figure out basic stuff in geography. I can't figure out my profession and all this. People's professionalism are in different ways. If you understand maths, you might have difficulty in Turkish. And in from like foreigner languages, you might have difficulty in maths, science, etc. I would know. And they're like, you gotta pass with flying colors at every single class to have a better life. The fuck is this? Hell on earth? I just can't think of anything worse than forcing people to study against their will. I mean, I kind of respect them for that. I have to study to get success, but bitch, please. The lowest ones actually offer jobs with no experience requirements. I try to graduate. Sam, I go to college. I'm gonna find a diploma. And then they're like, you need experience. I need experience to get a job. Need job to get an experience. And I'm like, no, you need experience to get a job. Fuck this paradox. Fuck you all. I'm sorry, it's just that life is getting really hard. hard. And at high school, these 11 classes brought me even down. And people were like, he's an English genius, he can't fail. Even the smartest scientists make mistakes, morons. Even scientists make mistakes. They're like, you failed? How? I just missed a few questions. How? You're supposed to handle that like a piece of cake. And why can't you speak English? Because I don't have professionalism in it like you? Leaves. I was always like, eek. Oh my god, I fail, fuck. I was always like that. Ever since 5th grade. You know, I was kind of glad about Zoom classes on Turkey because you didn't really have to do any exams. There was no pressure on it. I was like talking to the guidance teacher about the problems, and when I explained why do you guys give us tons of form works and make us do exams against our wills, he's like, to help you guys? Come on, dude. Come on, sir. Finland doesn't have any of these, and they're the best ones. Wouldn't it be easier to copy and paste them? And apparently he said that it's too late to handle that mindset. It's just that it's sad you had to see someone dying in front of your eyes. You could have helped them, but you chose the easy option not to help them. You're always like, I understand. And while you don't, you know it. Oh, that you fucked up when you don't figure out that you weren't able to handle such a thing. It's really fucked up. Remember, people, even though if you think that you are alone, you aren't. There's always someone to contact you. And I'm just gonna show a few symptoms of suicidal tendencies. If they're like doing self-harm, it might be a red flag. For example, let me show you. If it's something like they like do that to escape from the pain of real world, it might be really fucked up. If they're giving away their stuff and you can't figure out why the heck, like their precious things, like their knives from their grandparents, their parents' necklaces. If they're giving that away, that's a red flag. And if they wrote their will, even though they're like away from death, not really that riskful, it might be a red flag too, but not always. Also, there are like many lines that you can call. You can talk to your parents, your friends, hence your siblings, your relatives, your guidance teacher, someone you trust. Just one second. Okay, on to a different topic. Teen depression. Okay, teen depression is a serious health problems that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest in activities. It affects how teenagers think, feel, and behave. It can cause emotional, functional, physical problems. And although it can occur at any time in life, teens may be different between teens and adults. Teen depression is the weakness or something that can be overcome with willpower. That's not how depression works. It can have serious consequences and requires long-term treatment. For most teens, depression symptoms ease with treatment such as medication and psychological counseling. Remember, depression isn't a weakness or something that can be overcome with willpower. It can have serious consequences like suicide and requires long-term treatment. Okay, and teen depression signs and symptoms include a change from teenagers' favorite attitude, behavior that can cause distress and problems at school, home, social activities, any area of life. They can vary in severity, but here are some examples to emotional changes: feelings of sadness, crying spells for no reason, frustrations, anger on small matters, hopelessness, lack of hope, feeling empty, annoyed mood, loss of interest or pleasure in activities they used to enjoy, in or conflict with family and friends, little to no self-esteem, lack of feelings of worthlessness, guilt, fixation on past failures and self-blame, self-criticism, exaggerated, extreme sensitivity to rejection, failure, and the need for excessive reassurance, trouble thinking, concentrating, making decisions and remembering things, ongoing sense that life and future are grim and bleak, frequent thoughts of death, dying, or suicide. I think I kinda have most of these. Behavioral changes are tiredness, loss of energy, lack of energy, insomnia or sleeping way too much. I sleep too much. Changes in appetite, decreased appetite, and weight loss or exact up, and or vice versa. Increased craving for food and weight gain. Use of alcohol, drug abuse, cigarettes, etc. Restlessness, pacing, hand wringing, inability to sit still, slow thinking, speaking, or body movements, frequent complaints of unexplained body aches and headaches, which may include frequent visits to the school nurse, social isolation, bad school performance, frequent absence, less attention to personal hygiene, personal appearance, anger outbursts, disruptive or risky behavior, other acting out behaviors, self-harm, cutting yourself, burning yourself, considering making a suicide plan or an attempt. What's normal? Okay, it can be difficult to tell the difference between ups and downs that are being a teenager and teen depression. Talk with them. Try to determine whether he or she is capable of managing challenging feelings or life seems overwhelming. And they begin to interfere with their life, or if they begin, if the depression signs and symptoms continue, begin to interfere with the teenager's life, or cause you to have concerns about suicide or your or the teenager's safety. Talk to a doctor, a mental health professional trained to work at adolescence or teen. Teens family doctor or pediatrician is a good place to start, or your teen school may recommend someone. Depression symptoms likely won't get better on their own, and they can and probably will get worse and lead to other problems. And if untreated, depressed teenagers may be at the risk of suicide, even if they're look happy, don't have any signs and symptoms, or just they have it but don't really severe. They just don't have they don't have depression. They're just smiling, but it's let me tell you, it's actually a mask to keep other people's spirits up. In the inside, they're probably dying. They might be. If you're a teen and you think you may be depressed, or have a friend who may be depressed, do not wait to get help. Talk to a healthcare provider, such as a doctor or school nurse. Share concerns with the parents, a close friend, a spiritual leader, a teacher, a guidance teacher, anyone that you trust. And there are all. And if you think you may hurt yourself or attempt suicide, call 911 or call emergency hotline. Their local emergency number, like 999 in UK, 911 in US. Hang on, let me tell you guys around the world. If you live in, hang on. If you live in Australia, it's 000. 1 second. Zero. In India, it's 102. Australia, there's also 106 and 1808 as well in India. 110 in Japan, India. Japan, Iran, China. No, not India. 111 New Zealand. 112, 112 Europe and other. There's worldwide GSM mobile networks. 119 parts of Asia, Jamaica. 120 China. 123 Colombia, Egypt. 128 Mercosur member states. 190 Brazil. 911 Iraq, North America. E911 911 system, Philippines. 988 US suicide and crisis lifeline. 999 UK and others. 1122 Pakistan. 10. Look, even though if you think you are alone, you aren't. You can talk to an adult. If anyone that you do trust, or you can just call your local emergency number or your local suicide helpline. Just make sure that you talk to someone. Some people don't, and I don't want to see or hear anyone die because of this anymore.